Hey everybody, it is Winning Wednesday and I'm pulling up on you with a pop-up NCLEX review. I told you I was coming, and the reason why I'm bringing these NCLEX questions is because I want you to sign up for the class that is starting soon. Okay, we have our next 2-day NCLEX review. We're calling it Love Your Content. And this is going to be a maternity review. And so I want you to sign up for it. If you have not done so, please go to remarnurse.com/love. This is our Valentine's Day special class that we are doing. And so you can hit up the website remarnurse.com/love. Also, if you are on Facebook, it's super simple. If you just comment #LOVE, #LOVE, we will get you signed up. And so this is the time of year where we want you to love this nursing content, prioritize it. So this is my sign up campaign. I'm giving you an opportunity and a reminder that the class is actually Monday, the class at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So tonight we will be doing maternity questions, but remember, during the class, we're going to go over pregnancy, we're going to go over STDs, newborn, a lot of good stuff that will be on your exam. So I missed you guys since Monday, so I'm coming back on in the middle of the week to tell you that it's time for Love Your Content. It's time for Love Your Content. So we're going to get into the NCLEX questions. Are you ready? Also, do me a favor and share this video. Share this video because a lot of people don't have plans for Valentine's Day. And if you don't have plans for Valentine's Day, I definitely have something for you to do, right? It's Love Your Content. All right. Hey, shout out to Bernice, who is on Facebook. Thank you, Regina. I passed my NCLEX on 2.5. Yes. I am so happy to read this. Congratulations. That is a perfect Valentine's Day gift to give yourself. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So let's go. First question I have for you. Here it is. Here it is, guys. Which of the clients should be seen? Okay. Here we go. This is a priority question. Is it number one, the newborn who is crying after a bath? 2, the newborn who is crying after eating 5 hours ago? 3, the newborn who is crying after a blood glucose check? Or 4, the newborn who is sleeping quietly? Who is our priority here? Shout out to my nurses. I see I got Alabama in the house. Trinidad is in the house. Shout out to my nurses in Florida. Hey, we are an international study group. I want to see what your answers are. Put them on the screen, comments on the screen. I want 1,000 comments on this video. I want you guys to go ahead and don't be afraid. Tell me, who should the nurse see first? Oh, this is so good. This is a good one. All right, I'm challenging you guys tonight. I see it between 2 and 4. I see it between 2 and 4. Oh, okay. I'm just going to give you the answer. I'm not going to read all the comments. So the correct answer is going to be, it's going to be number 2. It is going to be number 2. Yes. This baby, this newborn in particular, has not eaten in 5 hours. Okay. So the newborn, remember guys, the newborn should be fed a minimum of 8 to 12 times in 24 hours. So that means that the nutritional requirements of the baby requires a feeding every 2 to 3 hours. And the reason why it's so important to feed a newborn at such frequent intervals is because their blood sugar drops very quickly, right? In utero, the baby is used to having essentially a constant stream of glucose, a constant stream of it. They are fed quite rapidly and very frequently. So when they are delivered, what happens is immediately immediately that glucose supply that the mother was giving the baby is cut off, and the baby has to eat on its own. And so we have to participate a great deal in keeping the newborn blood sugar normal, right? And we do that by feeding, constantly feeding. Think about food as basically sugar. That's what the cells are using for energy, right? So it is extremely important for newborns to get nutrition at that rate. All right. So a newborn who has not eaten in 5 hours, no, that's going to be inappropriate. So that's why that is correct. Okay. All right. Let's do number 2. Thank you guys so much. You guys are so complimentary to me today. I don't know what it is. It's the hair. It's the hair. All right. Question number 2. Which of the following correctly describes what vein and arteries are involved in fetal circulation? All right. I'm pulling it back on you guys. All right. So is it number 1, 2 veins and 1 artery? Number 2, 2 arteries and 2 umbilical veins? Is it number 3, 2 umbilical arteries and 1 umbilical vein? Or is it number 4, 2 umbilical veins and 1 umbilical artery? What would you guys say? Come on in. This is the pop-up quiz. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it's happening now. All right, love your content is coming, and so we're going to be falling in love with our nursing license right now, today. And I want to see those answers on the screen. A lot of people are saying 3s. I got some 2s in here. All right, listen, this is a community where we learn. The correct answer is POW, number 3. Did you get this one right? The correct answer is absolutely going to be 2 umbilical arteries and 1 umbilical vein. Yes, you got to know this. All right, this is just basic content. And if you didn't learn it in nursing school, you got to make sure that you know it for NCLEX. So if you have the VT workbook, we do go over the newborn assessment in the VT workbook. Get in here. And I believe I put it on page 11. If you have the workbook, it should be with your notes on page 11. Very important. You guys know, for my nursing students that are in school right now and you're just watching Remar, when you graduate nursing school, it is still a very important decision whether you're going to take an NCLEX review or not. And I am encouraging you to sit down and take one, because there may be some things that you didn't learn in nursing school. Somebody can testify to this. There may be some things that you did not learn in nursing school that you will have to know for your NCLEX exam. All right. And so make sure that you're covering yourself. And one way for you to evaluate whether you are going to be prepared for NCLEX is coming to the free class that I'm doing. So make it easier on yourself and just show up. Okay. Here we go. Next question is this. Oh, I like this one. Okay, I like this one. A woman in her 2nd trimester of pregnancy arrives at the emergency department reporting heartburn and headache. Which is the priority nursing action? Is it 1, gather information about the client's feeling of headache? 2, has taken any prescribed medication? 3, ask the foods eaten at the last meal? Or 4, check the client's blood pressure? What would you do? The patient is reporting, this is interesting, the patient is reporting heartburn and headache. So what is going to be the priority nursing action here? And I see some answers on the screen, 3s and 4s. Ooh, and some 2s too. I love it when it's kind of split. But this, honestly, when you're looking at these type of questions, you have to ask yourself, what is the safest thing for the nurse to do? So yeah, let's see those answers on the screen. And if you still need to sign up for the review, go ahead and comment #LOVE as well. So the correct answer here, and I love seeing you guys are tagging your friends. I love it. Tag your best study buddy. Tell him, get on. We studying right now. Yeah. The correct answer is going to be number 4. Number 4. And I'm going to put it here. I'll just read it to you. Check the client's blood pressure. Okay. The nurse needs to know the client's vital signs to determine if issues such as preeclampsia is present. It's cut off on the screen, but it says the other options are important, but they are done afterwards. The other options are important, but they are done afterwards. And what I tried to do for this question is I tried to really see who I could distract, because all of the other choices are all assessment choices, right? So we think about what is the first thing that a nurse is supposed to do? What is the first step of our nursing process? It is assessment, right? So I wrote every answer option to be more of an assessment. So let's look at them. Let's look at them together. So number 1 says gather about the client's feeling of headache. So if you're gathering information, that's assessing. But what is it? It's assessing information about a feeling, right? That's subjective. So that's not going to be the most important. We want to know what the vital signs are. Like, right? We need to know what the vital signs are for this patient. Yes, asking the client if she has taken any prescribed medications, that's important, but not over vital signs. Asking about the last meal, that's important, but not over the vital signs. And so it's really a matter of, what do I need to tell the doctor? What's the most important thing for me to communicate to the doctor about this patient, right? Because I know that if I have a patient that's coming in, that's number 1, she's pregnant, she's further along pregnant in her 2nd trimester of pregnancy, there's some things that are going to be emergencies, right? So emergencies are if the patient has cramping, right? Vaginal bleeding, if the blood pressure is high, if the patient has swelling in the upper extremities. So these things all indicate that labor may be imminent. And so the doctor is going to ask you, okay, what are the client's vital signs? The doctor will ask you that before he asks you, what medications does the patient take at home? When was the last time they ate or had a bowel movement? Those things are always secondary to the current, all right? Because the other things talk about time in the past, right? So let's look at that, because we want to know what's going on right now. We want to know what's going on right now. So asking the clients if they've taken any medications, that's in the past. Asking the clients about the last meal, that's in the past. All right. So this is a priority question that is based off of time and safety. Okay, time and safety. So if you like these questions, if you like breaking down the content with me, you will love studying with the program. I'm telling you. All right, because this is how we break things down. Let's do another question. Come on in. You're not for you right now. Here it is. Question number 4. Yes, it says a pregnant client with signs of premature labor is receiving magnesium sulfate at 30 weeks pregnant. Okay. The nurse caring for this client has the antidote of magnesium for magnesium toxicity on hand. Okay. Which of the following reverses magnesium toxicity? All right. No cheating on this one. Put the answer on the screen. Is it number 1, calcium gluconate? 2, calcium glutamate? 3, calcium glutamine? Or 4, labetalol? Labetalol. All right. What is the correct answer? What is the correct answer for magnesium toxicity on hand? Yeah. Hey, what is it? And I love it. I love what I am seeing here. We are all on one accord. And when we're all on one accord, I know that you guys learned this in nursing school and you remember, or you're studying with me, one or the other. All right. Good job, everybody. Good job. You have to know these things, okay? So the correct answer is this: calcium gluconate. Calcium gluconate. And NCLEX can be so tricky, and they can literally change one letter. And if you're not sure, you're sure, you can get this wrong very simply, very easily, just from not paying attention. You guys know I say this all the time. Reading is fundamental. So make sure that you slow down and you read the question. But here we reference magnesium sulfate, and magnesium sulfate is a very important medication to know for your NCLEX exam, because what does it do? Why is magnesium sulfate so important for nurses on a maternity unit to understand? What is magnesium sulfate given for? Do you know? We go over it in the VT workbook, but for some of you who just want to know, hey, am I good with content? Then you should be able to answer that question. What is the purpose of magnesium sulfate? Yes, I love it. Exactly. Magnesium sulfate stops premature labor. It stops premature labor. So it is considered a depressant, because when you're in premature labor, the uterine is what? It's contracting like crazy. It's contracting very fast, right? You're having those contractions. They're frequent, they're real, they're strong. And so if a nurse administers a central nervous system depressant, it's going to slow everything down. It's going to relax the uterus. It will no longer be contracting, right? This medication is going to stop premature labor. So magnesium sulfate is, you need to make a flashcard for. You need to make sure you have it remembered. But because it's a medication, anytime you give a medication to someone, there is a chance for side effects. So you got to know the side effects of magnesium sulfate, right? And so the side effects are what? The side effects are, it's going to be, I lost it. The side effects are going to be urinary. It's going to decrease the urine output, okay? It is going to decrease reflexes of the patient, right? And so those effects of magnesium sulfate also have to be monitored for. So if I give magnesium sulfate to a pregnant woman, I am definitely going to want to put in a urinary catheter, because I want to monitor how much urine is coming out. Is it 30 an hour? Is it lower than 30 an hour? Because if so, we might be having some signs of toxicity, okay? And so, yes, lowers respirations as well. So those are the things that you need to. Pharmacology can be really tough. I have some nursing students that are emailing me and saying, why is pharmacology so hard? Why is it so hard? And one of the things that I always suggest when we're studying medications is that we study them with the disease or the condition that they treat. So if you're studying pregnancy, study the medications that go along in pregnancy, right? At that time, what we do in nursing school, or what I see educators do in nursing school, is that they have a pharmacology course or a class, and it's one class and it's nothing but medications. And those medications are not paired with the disease. So while the nursing student is learning the disease, they're learning the medications to treat the disease. For some reason, they separate them in nursing school. So if you find you're struggling with pharmacology, try to pair it with the disease or the medication that it is supposed to treat. So for example, if you have this quick facts book, right? If you're in nursing school right now and you have this quick facts book, if you are taking a fundamentals course and you're learning about blood pressure or you're learning about hypertension, you can literally go to the back of quick facts and you can look at the blood pressure medications, the cardiac medications, and you can study them at the same time, right? When you go to pregnancy, you can study those medications at the same time. There is a better way to learn nursing information, right? And so and what you'll find is when you become a nurse, you're going to have to take responsibility for some things. And you need to learn this sooner than later. So as you're in nursing school, if you find out something is not working for you, it's your responsibility to try to fix it, okay? Because nursing school is considered adult education. It's not junior high. It's not elementary. This is an adult education program. So you are responsible for a great deal of your success. So do what you need to do in order to get this information. All right. Do what you need to do in order to get this information. So I wanted to share with you guys just some medications that I want you to highlight. These are ones that I go over in the VT. These are the ones that I go over in the VT for maternity. So just make sure that you are familiar with these medications. All right. And here's the list. If you want to write it down, I'm gonna leave it up for just like a minute so you can write down these medications. I just talked about magnesium sulfate. Terbutaline is also important. It's going to help, but you got to watch out for the side effects of these medications. Nifedipine. This is a cardiac medication that also has an indication for maternity. So be familiar with it. You'll see it in cardiac in your cardiac list, and you'll also see it as well in pregnancy. Oxytocin. Most of you are familiar with oxytocin. Okay, most of you are familiar with oxytocin. We know that it is used to induce labor, induce uterine contractions. All right. Ergonovine. This is a medication that stops what? Does everybody know what this medication does? It's going to be used for the postpartum period. Very important. Okay. Very important for stopping hemorrhaging. Thank you so much. Says keep listening with Regina. That's right. And as well as Methergin. This is also very important to stop that bleeding. Okay. Stop that bleeding. So, again, if you have the student workbook or if you have the quick facts for NCLEX, you are doing yourself a big favor when it comes to pharmacology, because maternity is a very serious topic, and it's easy to get questions on this on your actual licensure exam. All right. Question number 5, here we go. A nurse is evaluating the electronic fetal heart monitor strip of a client in active labor. The nurse recognizes late decelerations. Which of the following is the priority action of the nurse? Which of the following is the priority action of the nurse? Is it number 1, place the client in high Fowler's position? 2, turn on the oxytocin? 3, initiate IV fluids to the client? Or 4, place the client on oxygen via a face mask? Hey, what sayeth you to this scenario? And I love these kind of questions because these are the type of questions you will get on your NCLEX exam, because there is so much of basic understanding that you need to have mastered in order to figure this out. Exactly. I'm with you. Like, what's the late decelerations again, right? That's a real question. That is a real question. And that's why we come together, because seeing this information, hearing it, thinking about it is how you grow. And that's what makes REMAR so special, is these community events that we do, right? And so in order to figure out the correct answer, which is number, good job, Audra, is number 4, right? Place the client on oxygen via a face mask. Great job, Karen. You got it, right? This is going to be important because late decelerations, it causes decreased oxygenation, right? Blood flow is not sufficient to the fetus. And this is why we have to give the mom additional oxygen. Usually mothers don't need oxygen. A pregnant woman should not be walking around with oxygen. It's just like what I tell you guys about the elderly. An elderly person is not supposed to need oxygen. If you see somebody wearing oxygen, they have a disease, okay? If you see somebody on oxygen, they have a disease. It is not something that you put on healthy people. So I say this all the time. And Mark told me not to say that, so I have to stop saying that. A lot of you are new here and you don't know that I say it all the time. But if a client is in the hospital for an acute problem and that problem requires oxygen, we don't just leave oxygen on the patient forever. Okay? So like if a patient comes in and they have had a heart attack, right? And we put oxygen on that patient, that oxygen is not supposed to be on the patient their second and third and fourth day in the hospital. The oxygen is a medication, and like any other medication, it's effective for only so long, right? You can only give so much oxygen before it starts to become a poison to the patient. So if you put oxygen on a patient and you leave it on them for 24 hours or 48 hours, what's going to happen when you take that oxygen off the patient? Their body has become accustomed to getting additional oxygen and not having to work for it, right? Right now, without oxygen, if your body wants more oxygen, what's going to have to happen? Your lungs are going to have to work. Your breathing is going to have to increase. So when we leave oxygen on a patient for 2 and 3 days, it's no longer therapeutic to that patient who did not need the oxygen previously. So a lot of times, and you may know family members this has happened to, I certainly do, right? When we take oxygen off of a patient who has been on it for 3 or 4 days, they start to have issues of what? They start to have issues of shortness of breath. They can't breathe without it. Oh my goodness. They decompensate, right? Their O2 levels decrease. And so they end up leaving the hospital with oxygen permanently, right? Because the nurse didn't know to take it off, right? And the doctors come in and out the room. Sometimes they forget, they don't say anything. And so if you as a nurse do not know to take oxygen off of a patient, you will create a problem that your patient didn't have before, right? And so I'm gonna get off my hobby horse on that. But I'll say all of this, that if a patient is wearing oxygen, it's because something is wrong. So if you have a pregnant woman and we're giving her oxygen, it is because there's something wrong, that the baby is not getting enough oxygen. And so that needs to be addressed, right? That needs to be addressed. Oxygen during pregnancy is not a permanent solution. Oxygen during pregnancy is a temporary fix, just like it is with heart conditions, right? There's something else that needs to happen to get more oxygen to the heart. There's something else that needs to happen to get more oxygen to the baby. Okay, so I hope that helped you. And again, we will talk more and more about this during the Love Your Content review. So absolutely, I want you to do this. Sign up for it. Go ahead and sign up for it. If you are on here right now, sign up for it. Go to remarnurse.com, remarnurse.com, or go ahead and hashtag LOVE if you are watching on Facebook. But this is going to be a great event for you to attend, and it is going to be the Monday and Tuesday of next week. Yeah, Monday and Tuesday of next week. So hashtag LOVE if you are watching on Facebook. I love it. Yes, Barbara says, I'm already signed up. And hey, a lot of you have been asking me about the VT, the virtual trainer. So for that week only, we're going to take $180 off of the virtual trainer. Yeah, we're going to do a huge sale on the VT for 1 week only. So if you need the virtual trainer, you still want to get your quick facts and or the student workbook and my online whole program, my comprehensive program, this is going to be the opportunity for you to do so. So this was my sign up campaign. I came on here because I wanted everyone who watched this Winning Wednesday to make sure that you are on board and you have your workbook. The workbooks are already out, okay? The workbooks are already out for this event. So if you have signed up for it, you got your workbook in the email. Make sure, please, that you print it out because we will be taking notes. And I know if I open up this book, if you already have the VT workbook, you still want to come to this class. So if you still can set aside time, I know you're studying and you're in your trainer, but still make time to come to this class because I will be lecturing on some additional things that I want you to add to your workbook, okay? So it's important that you come to this class. I promise I won't keep you long. The class will be about an hour, so make time for it. Valentine's Day night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and then the day after. So it's a two-day class. And I promise you that you will feel so much more confident with maternity because if you liked what we did here tonight, you'll love Monday. So I wanted to say thank you guys so much for studying with me on tonight. We had a great time, a lot of great participation. This community is so special to me, and a lot of people are seeing the growth with Remar. So I thank you guys for your prayers and telling your friends about what we do here because our entire team, we work so hard to help you get your nursing license. So if you are me, I would definitely love to help you study for your exam and be confident. Be brave when you walk in there and feel like you have done everything that you need to do to be successful. So go ahead, get ready for this class. You're going to love your content because you're going to love nursing when you get that license. I promise you. Stick with me here on Facebook. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm also on TikTok now. Yes, and on Instagram. And also we're doing the podcast. So we will have all of our events live on the podcast. So while you're working out, working on the unit, driving in your car, you can listen to me on the podcast. You'll get some great content there. So thank you guys. Hey, guess what? The class is coming Monday. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. You can, you will, and you must pass NCLEX. Go sign up for that class.